whoops, I'm in a different location, which I will explain in a minute. Here we go. So, as you can see, I'm in a very different location, and long story short, my class was basically canceled today, and, I wanted to keep with the theme of the video of me sitting in my car, and so I am sitting in my car in front of my house. Deal with it. So, what I mean by moments when you want to disappear is the feeling of just not wanting to exist anymore. Like, you just want to be swallowed in nothingness and forget that you're real, forget that you have a life, and, the moments where you really don't want to exist anymore. And for me, these feelings usually come after a really big panic attack or a big depression episode. And, it's really hard because you're filled with so much guilt after a panic attack because, panic attacks are big and they affect not only you, but everyone around you. And then there's the feeling of just being so dumb. Like, how could you let this happen? Like, why did you have this panic attack over something so small? And so you're so emotionally drained and worrying about everything else and feeling guilty. And so you just want to disappear. And like I said, this is something I have, unfortunately, a lot of experience with. Now, let me start by saying, this is a really sucky feeling. It is absolutely sucky. And it is really, really hard to get out of, especially when you are spiraling and just everything with your mental health just feels like it's going wrong. And so it is really, really easy to get stuck there in this feeling of wanting to disappear. What I do want to say is allow yourself to feel that way. I feel a lot of times in our society, we are taught to not feel negative emotion. If you feel sad, you should push it down. Think positive is what I always hear. But you know what? It is totally valid to feel like everything has gone wrong. It is valid to feel sad and depressed and angry and guilty. It is valid to feel that way. And you should let yourself feel that way. Don't be afraid to express an emotion that usually has a negative connotation, because it is so important that you don't bottle that up and let it boil over to a point where this is just your new normal. At the same time, though, you need to allow yourself to feel this way, but you shouldn't get stuck there. And allowing yourself to feel and be emotional can really help with getting over that spiral. But, sometimes it's just a lot harder. And, it's so easy to really get stuck there, but it's so important that you figure out a way to get yourself out of there and remind yourself that even though this is how you feel right now, it's not going to last forever. I've been really emphasizing it is really, really hard to get out of these kinds of moods, but find little ways to kind of help yourself get out of it. So what I'm kind of talking about when it comes to little things is this big thing called self-care. And self-care is so important, and it is something that I have been very, very mindful of working on with myself. And, it's just really taking care of yourself. It's eating a meal. It's making sure your skin is moisturized, like pampering yourself a little bit. It's okay to pamper yourself. And, especially in these moments where you don't want to live anymore, it is so important that you take the time out and check yourself. Be comfortable with what you're feeling and acknowledge that you are feeling this way and do something about it. You can absolutely take time out to feel depressed or angry or just sad, but also allow yourself time to take care of yourself. It is so important that you do this because people get so caught up in the world and what is going on that we forget to take time out for ourselves. And you know what? self-care things can be doing a face mask. It can be going and getting a shower. It can be taking a walk. It's something that helps you feel like you again. And you know, another thing that I want to hit on in terms of this kind of concept of feeling like you want to disappear. And it's something that I hit on with my last video on depression. If you are feeling this way for so long and so intensely that it is taking over your life and making it really hard for you to just exist and function on a quote-unquote normal level, then I encourage you to consider going and seeking help. Because like I said in my last video, you know, it's especially in moments like this where we need help and we need to be comfortable with asking for help, because we shouldn't go through life alone. We should have people in our lives that can support us, that can validate us, and that can give us the tools to make ourselves better. And you know what? Seeking help is one of the best ways to do that. And it is so important that we start erasing this stigma that if you go and seek help, you're crazy. Because it's not true. It is so not true. If you are willing to admit that you need help, you are far stronger than anyone could ever be in the world. Like, you have a strength in you, the ability to be vulnerable in front of another person and understand when you need help is so important. And so I encourage you, if you are feeling this way, to be willing to let other people into your life and be willing to ask for help. You know, something that I also said in my last video was we really cannot go through life alone. We are hardwired for companionship. We are hardwired to be around other people and to have a relationship with other people, whether it's friendship, a familial relationship, a romantic relationship. Even then, like, romantic relationships aren't for everyone. So any kind of relationship, it is so important that we have people in our lives no matter what. And asking for help is one of the best ways to solidify that relationship. So to summarize, it feels awful to not want to exist. It is something I have a lot of personal experience with. It is something that even after almost 6 years of therapy, I still have trouble with. And, you know, it's also so important to let yourself feel that way, understand that you feel this way, and then do something about it. Whether it's an act of self-care or being willing to ask for help, just do something. You know, don't be like me and wait for years and years after feeling this way to be willing to open up to someone else that you are feeling this way. Because it is so important that we acknowledge that this is a thing that is happening to people and that we do something about it. It's time we do something about it. So that is all for me today. I'm gonna go inside and just relax for a little bit because I feel like I need it. This will be my self-care for today. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, all the links, as usual, are down in the description below. This week, I have 2 songs that I picked out because I feel like both were very, very reflective of kind of the theme that I was going for this week. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.